Sarah, did you have anything else?
That was the community ed one. This wasn't the joint
Yeah.
powers one.
Okay.
You have that one.
Yeah, you can do that recap, because I forgot my notes. I thought I actually purposely didn't bring my notes because I thought I already recapped it, and so. Okay, so joint powers did meet?
Yes, joint
Okay.
powers did meet.
Have at it.
All right. A lot of the, we talked about the $15,000 grant from Scott County. There was question from the city, kind of what the obligation was, and I would say a majority of our discussion was reviewing the agreement. And really understanding that, I think, we'll just take a look at that again, just so everyone understands, because as we walked through it, there wasn't many of us who were there when this
Sure.
was signed. So a majority of our discussion was about just what the overall agreement was.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So, yeah.
Curriculum meets next week, so we haven't had a meeting since our last one. Facilities hasn't met, meet and confer hasn't met, negotiations hasn't met. Policy, we met, was it last week, Sandy?
I believe so,
And Sarah,
and basically everything that was on the agenda is what we talked about, so.
Yep, we was through quite a few, it was a good discussion, we got through quite a few policies, so that's an ongoing process, and thanks to Hope for, I know she does the bulk of the work, putting that together for us, so thank you, Hope. Okay, APAC, do you have anything to report on that other than what we did tonight at the meeting?
No, we haven't met since our last meeting, so we'll be meeting, I want to say next week, or this week, I'm not sure. I'll be there, so I don't know I don't remember, let's see. It's the 18th that we're meeting.
Okay.
We only meet once a month.
Okay. Booster Club, Sarah?
Yep. A lot of discussion around fundraising. So fundraising is coming back. Nordic Skiing's doing a fundraiser. Basketball will be doing services at the tap room now that they're opened again. Track is going to do a pizza distribution. Pull tabs are back on at the Supper Club and the Pickled Pig now that restaurants are back open. And then they're looking to do online gala, like a silent auction, and bringing that. So looking at, and some of the things to be auctioned would be, services that youth could provide, car washes, trips, the baskets that they would do when we would, have it at the golf course, and then experiences that they've done before, like ride in a fire truck, ride with ride in a police car, things like that. So that was, and then I resigned from the board. So
Okay.
I am now off the board and just on as the representative.
The representative for our board.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, so resigned from that board.
Okay, so will they be replacing that
They
position?
are seeking new board members.
Okay.
I have a concern with the fundraising because the reason that the Booster Club was created is so there wouldn't be all these little people doing these things. And I just want to bring that to have that brought back to them because that was a great concern for a long time with people door knocking. And it was a concern because people were getting burnt out on the door knocking. You only can buy so many candy bars, and you got half the town selling them. And so the reason that we went gung-ho with the cold caps and whatever, and I understand that COVID did help us, but when whoever is approving, because I believe that you have to be approved to have a fundraiser, and I don't know who approves that, because there was a policy created at one time that it had to be approved, so maybe we need to make sure that whoever's doing that.
So my understanding is that that's done on an annual basis, and we're not there yet this school year, but that will come up this spring. I can't tell you what was approved last school year, or last spring when I wasn't in this position, but that is an annual process of approving that.
So is it the board that approves that, or is it Joe Perkel that approves it?
I can't speak to the Booster Club and what that is, but I just know that as a district, we have a spreadsheet of all of our approved fundraisers.
Right.
Perhaps the boosters are on there. I haven't looked at it in detail, because we're not at that point of the year yet, so I haven't taken the time to research all of that.
I think the Booster Club is its own entity. that's why we formed.
That's the only place we fundraise through,
Yeah.
is through the Booster Club. There's no Jordan School fundraising as far as
Oh,
I know.
Yeah, there is. The
Yes,
band
there is.
sells fruit, band and
Yeah.
choir sell fruit.
Yeah, but I thought that was, I thought the band was run, I thought that was,
There are different
but wait a
layers.
minute, I thought that was all run through the Booster Club.
No. Some of those things might be,
Some,
but
yeah.
like when we fundraise for, the Lymphoma Society, and that is not, has nothing to do with the booster.
Yeah, that's,
So we have a spreadsheet of fundraisers with that. Outside of that, the booster may have their own.
right, okay, so that fundraiser you're talking about is not for student athletes and arts and activities.
Correct.
Everything for the Booster Club or anything for student arts and athletics and activities is run through the Booster Club.
Correct.
So,
Yep.
So that those don't have to be, well, because they're confused.
It's a separate entity, but we do have an approval process, to your point, for fundraisers, that do occur throughout the school year, and that will be coming up yet this spring.
And I do know the Booster has a fundraising committee and they have approved fundraising, events, and they manage that as well. And I believe, have they come here and presented that before?
Sandy, do you remember? I don't remember them
Or
ever
did Booster,
coming.
I'm just asking.
I don't remember that at
Okay.
all, no.
No.
And that's what I didn't know,
Yeah,
if it's
Connie, you
something
don't
that,
remember, do you?
I don't remember.
No.
but
But
I,
I just want us to be conscious that
Yes,
we're
of
not
course.
giving the city, or that we're not giving our community part right now.
Understandably so.
So I'm hearing more research needs to be done on fundraising policies as we move towards spring.
Yep.
So, on how that all works. Sounds good. Thank you, Sarah.
yeah,
Education Foundation Committee, let's see, I believe that's coming up in a week or two, we're meeting.
We
I-
might be skipping a while.
Well, we got the financials. Karen sent the financials out early. I thought it was the end of the month, so we'll just have to wait and see if we get the invite. Legislative, there is a lot of stuff going on legislatively that we need to stay on top of. If you don't have an opportunity on Friday mornings from 9 to 9:30, join in on the MSBA legislative update. Things are flying hot and heavy at the legislature right now, and a couple bills that we really need to keep our eyes open on. One of them is a PSEO bill, where it would require PSEO classes to be weighted, which would put more of a strain on our administrators, our principals, to keep track of that. And it, quite frankly, wouldn't be very fair because, as Mr. Visner shared, somebody taking PSEO bowling would get a weighted grade, whereas a kid in our school taking an AP history class would be weighted the same. So that's a bill to keep in the radar. The Page Amendment on changing the education constitutional amendment, it has some traction. They actually had a hearing today, and MSBA has formed a committee, recommendation committee, so they're moving forward with that. So that's got more legs than we thought it was going to have this year. We thought that would probably hold off for a year or two before that went for a vote to the public, but we'll see where that goes. There's at least 75 bills that have more mandates in for our schools. Oh, I didn't read that one.
Oh, he said that they were stockpiling stuff into bills and they were putting tons of stuff together and just kind of.
Into the big omnibus bill,
And,
yeah.
yes, and right hand wasn't even talking to what the left hand was doing and he was very concerned.
Yeah, I watched part of the hearing today, and that's exactly what was going on. I know there's a bill in the Senate where they would take away snow days, and they would make it, distance learning or e-learning days, which that one isn't too scary. MSBA is going to be having 3 Thursdays in a row starting this Thursday. They're going to be doing a webinar on advocacy instead of having their day at the Capitol that some of you have attended. There's in the governor's bill, House File 950, there's grad standards. He's put in he put in some new requirements that would take away from elective opportunities for kids. So it would allow credits for advanced math class. It would take away, if 7th and 8th grade kids took advanced, if they were really advanced and took advanced math classes, it would not allow their credits for graduation, which to me doesn't seem fair. So that's one to keep our eye on. There's one about allowing unemployment benefits for paras and bus drivers. That would be a hit to the district. And this is a big one. The paid family medical leave bill would allow 24 weeks of paid medical leave for staff. And after their 24 weeks, then they also could take their accrued vacation and PTO time. That's a one. That's a bill we really have to keep our eye on. 24 weeks. That could be a real hit to the district. So those are just some of them. Let's see, I think, did Scale meet? That would
Yep, Scale met, I think Ryan was on that committee with me. We had an update from Lisa Brodsky, who is a public health nurse for Scott County, and she shared about vaccination clinics. And at that time, this was way back in 2012, quite a while ago. At that time, she was hoping that they'd have some vaccination opportunities, and of course we surpassed that, which is good. They also had some of the Scott County administrators talking about different transportation projects that are going to be in the works, and reviewing some of those components.
Okay. High school legal, that's a work of its own, I guess, right now with tournaments and stuff coming up. Everything is pretty much up in the air there. SEAC, did they meet the Special Ed Advisory Council? Okay. And Southwest Metro, oh golly. I don't think there's anything too much new there. They're moving forward with the Dean Lakes building. We're going to have our first in-person meeting there in April. But other than that, things are just moving forward. Okay? So if...
My 2 nights of finance training with MSBA. I think I like it now. I think I know what Gatsby, I'm getting, and I think if you spend enough time with the auditor, you I think that for new board people, I think that it would be more beneficial to take that class than it would be to take Tom Melcher's new part class.
Yeah.
Because what they did is they printed out our finances, and they asked us questions, and Renee and Amy, I talked about this briefly. They asked me how many credit cards does our district have. I didn't know. They asked a lot of different things that we should know, and not just me. We all should know. And so it was interesting, and it was really good this time because people didn't monopolize the whole time. Because sometimes people just wanted to know about their district. So it was really good, and I think we're all in the same boats. We're all, so that's, whatever. But thanks to MSBA, they actually showed people what they are.
They do. Yeah, I just completed the officers training too. I did the board chair piece. Ryan did the vice chair piece. So
Very good.
okay. Any other reports? Molly, you have anything?
No. That was the Education Foundation.
Okay. Anything outside of committees? But nothing. Sarah? No. Lauren? No. Connie?
People want to know what Stephanie was from.
Yeah.
The Bible
That's
calls.
that's
I know
right.
graduation is also a discussion.
Yes,
Yes.
that's right after it. So I
What's
think
going to go on for graduation?
Sandy?
I just wanted to add about, to add to Mr. Perkle's report, there's an update regarding speech. So we are going to have subsections this year. It will be virtual. We will have sections as well, and that will be virtual. We haven't really heard anything about state yet. I mean, I'm assuming it's virtual, but that we will be having it. So, and we're doing pretty well right now. So I just wanted to add that because I know there was a question in the report as to whether we were going to do that or not. And we've had a meeting and we will.
Yeah, the team is doing very well, and so is the junior high team. That's exciting. Yeah,
They are.
thank you. Okay. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Connie, is there a second?
So, second, Sandy.
Second, Sandy. Roll call?
Deb Pauley.
Yes.
Sandy Burke.
Yes.
Connie Hennon.
Yes.
Mark Peterson.
Yes.
Sarah Lehman.
Yes.
Molly Monahan.
Yes.